Welcome, friend. It's Ashley Clarke with Earthkeeper Yoga, and I am here once again in my home studio here in Birmingham, Alabama, and I welcome you to a gentle yoga practice. Before we get started, next week I will start filming our classes from a different location. So if you haven't been with me, or maybe if you have, Earthkeeper Yoga is moving into a brick and mortar studio beginning August 6th. So I will be filming my classes for you, your classes from me there beginning next week. So it's going to look a little different, but the classes will be the same. And with UAB mandating that everyone on campus has to wear a mask, I think we'll probably be doing this online pre-recorded type of yoga for quite some time, just to make sure that we are all safe. So if you haven't gotten your vaccine yet, I encourage you to do so that we can come back together and practice safely. For today's class, I invite you to have a couple of blocks as well as your trusty blanket. So grab what you need and I'll meet you right here on the mat. All right, sweet friend, as we get started today, we're going to start on our backs. So come on down, really let that back take up some space on your mat. Do whatever feels good with the arms here. So I'm going to choose to let my hands just kind of rest on my belly. Relax the shoulders down. Make sure that the chin is parallel with the shoulders. And then give yourself a nice big deep cleansing breath. So in through the nose, sigh it out through the mouth. And just let the mat take your weight here. Use the next 5 or 6 breaths in and out through the nose just to let the body soften. And keep your awareness on the breath moving in and out of your body. Notice the softness. When you're ready, we're going to extend those legs all the way up towards the sky. And then you can keep those hands on the belly or extend them long where the palms are down next to the hips. Just circle those ankles just for a moment. And keep the legs soft where you can. And then we're just going to start to bicycle the feet. Notice the tension building in the body, even though most of it is supposed to be relaxed. So give yourself a cleansing breath while you keep those feet pedaling. And then slowly let yourself come back into a moment of stillness with the legs up towards the sky. Notice if you can release those shoulders back down to the mat. Give yourself another cleansing breath. Beautiful. Send the arms up and then release those shoulders down. So shoulders stay connected to the mat. Check the parallel line of the chin to the shoulders. And then just circle the ankles, point and flex the feet, circle the wrists, wiggle the fingers. And then from here, I invite you to bend those knees up towards your heart and let the hands come just to the top of the kneecaps. If you need to send the legs wide just to have some more space, you do you here. Give yourself a little gentle rock side to side. All right, so two options as always. You can roll over onto one side, use the hand from the top arm to press yourself up, or you can rock and roll up the length of the spine. Either way, I invite you to meet me in a tabletop position. We'll spread those fingers nice and wide. Feel free to put the blanket under your knees for a little extra cushion. We're going to make sure that knees are right under hips. And reach through the crown of the head here, and then take an inhale. Exhale, I want you to send this right hip over to the right just a little bit. Now let the body soften everywhere else. Inhale. Exhale, send the hips all the way over to the left. Intentionally soften through the rest of the body. Breathe. Beautiful. Come back into your table. We're going to go ahead and curl our toes and lift our hips. Find a down dog. And once you find that down dog, I invite you to walk your hands back towards your feet. Let's meet at the back of our mats in a forward fold. Big bend in those knees here to begin. Let's take an inhale and exhale, slow rise. And shine those palms forward, ripple through the spine. Go ahead and tuck the tailbone in, soften through the kneecaps. Here's your mountain pose. Give yourself a sweet breath right here. Beautiful. Take an inhale, let the arms and the gaze rise. And then exhale, bring those palms down in front of your heart. Bow chin to chest. Take an inhale, lift the gaze back towards me. And I want you to just slowly walk from the back of your mat to the top of your mat. Give yourself time. Think about the heel of the foot making contact and then sending weight to the front of the foot. Nice and slow. Just intentionally taking up the space on our mat. And when you get to the top of your mat, I don't want you to change anything about your posture. Let those hands just kind of hang next to your hips there. Close the eyes, and I want you to just sense into your natural posture. So how are you showing up in your body right now in this moment? So notice where the weight is in the feet. Don't change anything. We're just making little moments of awareness is all we're doing. Mindful awareness. Notice where the hips are in space, the curvature of the low back. What's going on in the belly. And even as part of this, notice where's the breath? Is it showing up in one region of your center more than the other? So maybe more in the belly than in the heart. Are the kneecaps tense? And what's going on with the shoulders? Do they feel like they're rolling forward just a little bit? My natural posture is to have the shoulders rolling forward. And do you feel like your weight is evenly distributed over your feet and you're standing up nice and tall, or can you tell if you're leaning forward or back at all? Just notice what's there. And take an inhale. And slowly flutter the eyes open so you can see all of the places where I hold my natural things about my posture. And let's get intentional with the movement now. So we're going to press the feet into the floor, ripple up through the spine, tuck that tailbone in, engaging through the glutes. Shoulder blades kiss behind and the crown of the head reaches towards the sky. Now soften the kneecaps. Give yourself a cleansing breath. And give yourself one breath here. Close the eyes, in and out through the nose. Notice where the breath is going in that container of you now. now that you've given it space. Let's take an inhale, arms and gaze rise. And then exhale, bring the hands down in front of the heart. And as you do, go ahead and send those hips back. Curl the tailbone in, reach through the spine, and find your chair pose. So how does this feel in the body? Where's the weight in the feet? And what are you saying to yourself? Do you absolutely just despise chair? I have a lot of students who do. It's not my favorite either, but there is something so empowering about it. Let's hold it 2 more breaths. And take your inhale. And then exhale, let yourself swan dive forward, fold. And keep a little slight bend in those knees. Start to give yourself a little side to side sway here. And give it 1 more breath. And let's come into our stillness. Soften through the knees. Take an inhale. And exhale. Let's ripple all the way back up into that mountain. Now take a moment here. What awareness do you need to really ripple through the spine and settle into this mindful awareness of your body? Notice the space that the breath can take up. And then notice the spaces that feel a little bit empty as you let the breath go. Let's take an inhale, arms and gaze rise. And then exhale, let's sit it back into that chair. Swinging the hips back, curling the tailbone in, really reaching through the spine. And reaching through the spine is the same as it would be if you were in a standing posture. You're creating space for that breath to move in and out of your body. Where is the weight in the feet? Where is the breath traveling? And keep that breath in and out through the nose. Beautiful. Inhale. Exhale, swan dive forward, fold. Feeling into the back body. Swaying side to side. Hands on blocks or on the floor, or bending elbows and then clasping hands at opposite elbow. Just feeling into this forward fold. Beautiful. Take an inhale. And exhale, let's give ourselves a slow rise all the way back into that mountain. Awareness, mindfulness. What can you do here to open up the body and find space for the breath? Quick body scan. Where can you soften? Where can you evenly distribute weight through the feet? Beautiful. Inhale, arms and gaze rise. Exhale, let's sit it back into chair. And you know all the things. Hips go back, long spine, tucking the tailbone in. One more breath. And take an inhale. And exhale, you're slowly going to start to rise up. And as you do, put that weight on the left foot. Lift this right foot just enough to send the right foot back. We're going to come into warrior one legs. So feel into that. That right set of toes is pointing at like 1 o'clock on an old school clock. And you're feeling into that left knee bending forward. There's an opening through the hips. If that feels really tight for you, send that right hip out. Give yourself the space that you need throughout the body. And when that feels complete, I want you to lunge into that left knee. Reach through the crown of your head, finding that space Take a breath. Hold it, 2 more. Beautiful. Inhale. And then slowly start to come onto that right ball of the foot, sending all the weight into this left leg. Let's bring ourselves back up to the top of the mat, reset, and find your mountain. Hands come down next to the hips. Spine ripples up. Here's your strength. Inhale. Sigh it out. Let's do the other side. So inhaling, arms and gaze, rise. Exhale, sitting it back into that chair, swinging the hips back, long spine, pelvis tucks in. Take an inhale. Exhale, slow rise up, weight going into that right foot. Left foot lifts just enough to send that left foot back. Working your way into making space for these warrior one legs. Make any changes that you need to do with the width of the legs. And then find a moment or two just to settle in. Reach through the crown of the head. Give yourself a cleansing breath. Beautiful. Taking an inhale, peeling that left heel off the foot onto the left ball of the foot. Weight comes into the right leg. Top of the mat, mountain pose, cleansing breath. Beautiful. Inhale, arms and gaze, rise. And exhale, hands come down in front of the heart. Bow that chin down towards your chest. Give yourself another sweet breath right here. Take an inhale, arms and gaze, rise. And exhale, let's find that forward fold. So when you come into this forward fold, I'm going to invite you to shimmy your feet where the outside edges of your feet are even with the outside edges of your mat. And you'll just need one block here, and we're going to put that block on the tallest setting. We're going to take our left palm and put it on the back of that left or that block. So you're light on these right fingertips, and there's some softness through the knees. I want you to take an inhale and reach this right arm up towards the sky. Really finding length through the spine here. Tuck the tailbone in and see if you can square the hips. So we don't have the knees locked. We're not bending into one more than the other. We're just reaching those right fingertips up and really focusing on the length through the spine, engagement in the core, squaring of the hips. Breathe in and out. Slowly bring that right hand down, bend those knees a lot. Replace that right hand where the left one was, light on left fingertips. Take an inhale, start to straighten through the legs just a bit as the left arm goes up towards the sky, and then halfway lift if you would. Curl that tailbone in, reach through the length of the spine. What's going on with the hips? Can you send that left hip over just a little bit more to the right, keeping them square behind you? Beautiful. Inhale. Exhale, forward fold. You can move that block out of the way, and then we're going to step the feet back. Let's spend a few breaths here in this down dog. So if down dog doesn't serve your body, you could go ahead and move into a table. And gaze is towards the knees. You're hinging at the shoulders and the hips. I'm not worried about whether or not those heels are touching the mat. And wherever you are, I'm going to invite you to meet me in a plank or a kneeling plank. your choice. Booty stays down. Find the length through the spine here. And then take an inhale. And the exhale, let's lower all the way down to the mat with control. Tops of the feet come to the mat. Palms are right under the shoulders. Release through the booty. Now reach the crown of your head away from your mat here. Really feeling a stretch and some openness at the back of the neck. Breathe 2 breaths. Belly presses into the mat. Beautiful. Send the arms up over your head. And then pull those elbows in where shoulders just were, where palms just were. And the nose is still facing down. Take an inhale, press into those elbows, ripple up through the spine, and then reach the crown of the head towards the sky. Keep the low body soft. We're in Sphinx. Deep, deep breaths. Soften the belly. Maintain strength from shoulders to elbows. Beautiful. Lower the head and bring the palms where the fingers can interlace. Maybe bring your elbows in just a little bit and then curl your toes. You're going to press into elbows and start to walk your feet up towards your upper body. Again, don't worry if heels don't touch for dolphin. So really let the head release here. Holding it 2 more breaths. Taking an inhale. Lowering the knees with control. Tops of the feet come to the mat. Send your arms long in front of you and then let the upper body melt down. Booty stays in the air, puppy pose. So big stretch through the shoulders. Notice the rounding in the back. If you tuck the pelvis in, you'll get a stretch through the low back here. So give yourself whatever would feel good. Intuitively listening so that you don't push your body too far. Take an inhale, press into your hands to lift your upper body up, and then we're going to come into a table. So once you get in this table, we're going to come back to really focusing on having that long spine. And then what we're going to do is we're going to come down to the left elbow. So the left elbow is on the floor or it's on your blanket. So whatever you need for comfort. You just want to make sure that the elbow is under the left shoulder. Then we're going to reach this right arm up and let the palms come to touch. Send the gaze over to the right. Lower the right hand, come back to the left palm, lower the right elbow down to the mat, right under the right shoulder, turn the head to the left, and then let this left palm meet the right. Lower the left hand, right hand comes back to the mat. Curl your toes, lift your hips, down dog. Soften through the legs, hinging at hips and shoulders, releasing the kneecaps. Letting those heels just kind of press towards the floor, even if they don't make it, waking up those calf muscles. Beautiful. Take an inhale, lift the left leg up towards the sky, and then bring knee to nose. Let that left foot come on through. You're going to stay on the ball of the right foot, and then take an inhale. We're going to come up into Crescent. Now, if it's too much to come all the way up into this full expression, lower that right knee to the floor. Do a kneeling crescent. Hold here. Little stretch through that right groin. And take an inhale. And then exhale, bring those hands down in front of the heart. Reach the crown of the head towards the sky. Take a deep breath. Beautiful. Inhale, arms and gaze, rise. Exhale, forward fold. Make your way back into your down dog and then give yourself a cleansing breath. And take an inhale, lift the right leg up towards the sky, bring knee to nose, step it through. You can lower that right or left knee if you need to. Take an inhale, rising up, finding those crescent legs or kneeling crescent. Breathe. Take an inhale. Bring those hands down in front of the heart, reach the crown of the head up towards the sky. Shoulder blades come together, breathing in and out. One more breath. Take an inhale, arms and gaze, rise. Exhale, forward fold, making your way back into your down dog. Cleansing breath. Inhaling into plank or kneeling plank. Exhaling all the way down to your mat. Tops of the feet come to the mat. Reach through the crown of the head, release the low body, holding it here, 2 breaths. Feeling the belly press into the mat with each inhale. And then reaching those arms up over the head, bringing elbows under shoulders, rippling up through that part of your body to really reach the crown up. Stretch through that low back, release through the low body. Strong from elbows to shoulders. Hands come back together, fingers interlace. You might need to bring those elbows in just a little bit. Curl toes, lift hips. Here's dolphin. One more breath. Inhale. Exhale, lowering the knees with control. Extend the arms long, keep the booty up in the air, puppy pose. Forehead comes to the mat or to a block if you need more space. And then tuck that tailbone in. How does that change the stretch? Deep breath, give it 2 more. Beautiful. Go ahead and let those hands walk you back. Give yourself a child's pose. Send the knees wide if you need that in your body. Stack palms if you need a place to rest your head. Big, deep breath. And give it 1 more. Beautiful. Press into your hands to bring yourself up. And then when you come back into your table, you're going to swing those feet so you can come down to your booty. Now I'm going to use my blanket. So I'm going to sit my tailbone right off the front of the blanket. That helps with my hips moving forward. It keeps that length through the spine, which yoga is all about breath moving through your body with synchronization with your body movement. So we don't want to shortchange ourselves here. Bring the hands to the legs and then really ripple up through the spine. Find that length. Take an inhale. And then exhale, slowly start to tilt over to the right. Just let that right hand run down your leg until you find your stopping point. Maybe the elbow makes it, maybe it doesn't. And let's send awareness to the neck and to the jaw, the teeth. Can you soften there? Awareness to this left shoulder. Can you roll it open just a bit? Maybe even take that left hand and let the fingertips just rest right there on the top of the left shoulder. Find the places that you can soften and open, letting the breath move through your container. Beautiful. Take an inhale. And exhale, let's make our way back up into that center posture. Reset whatever you need here. Take a fresh breath. And then exhale, we're going to lean over to the left. Same thing. Feeling into the posture, giving yourself time. Noticing the points that have tension. And working through those to open in a way that is both safe and liberating all at once. And don't forget to roll that right shoulder open. Inhale. And we'll exhale back up to our seat. Beautiful. Bring those legs together. And you can keep your hips just as they are, coming off the front of your blanket if you have that available. So I want to explore something with you. We started the class by standing at the top of the mat, and I said, or we were at the back and we walked to the front. But then I asked you just to kind of survey your body. So I want you to just let the hands come to the legs, and I want you to sit in whatever way that you normally would. Don't change anything about your posture. Don't pull in the yoga of the posture here. Just let yourself be. And if you need to close your eyes so that you can mark this moment of settling in, go right ahead. And I want you to notice the constriction of the breath as it moves through the belly. Notice maybe there's a little heaviness of the heart if the shoulders kind of slump forward. And with whatever posture you're in, I invite you to take an inhale. And then exhale, just twist over to the right just a little bit. Don't change anything. Notice the constriction of the breath. And it's a gentle twist. We're not really ratcheting down anything here. We're just exploring. Just one more breath. Beautiful. Take an inhale and come back to center. Hands come back to the lap. Now let's intentionally ripple up through the spine. Find that length through the spine. We'll take an inhale and then exhale back over to the right. Where can you find the breath now? Keep it in and out through the nose. And give as much awareness, if you will, to the exhale as you do to the inhale. Maybe roll that right shoulder open just a little bit more. And give it 2 more breaths. Take an inhale. And exhale back to center. Reset the body. Make sure that you didn't lose any of that integrity through the upper body. And then we'll take another fresh breath. And exhale over to the left. So what's there? Explore it. And give it 3 more breaths. Beautiful. Inhale. And then exhale to come back to center. Beautiful. I'm going to ask you to grab one of your blocks. And I'm going to have you bring it right there. And we're probably going to have to adjust because we're just attempting. And if it doesn't work, we'll come back out and do it again. But I'm going to hold the block with both hands on the tallest setting right above my kneecaps. Then I'm going to find my long spine. Take an inhale. And then exhale, try to fold forward. Let the back really round. Let the forehead come to the block. And then let the hands relax. Let the shoulders slump forward. Notice the constriction of the breath that's available here, or not available rather. But notice where you can make yourself soft. And give it one more breath. Take an inhale. And exhale, bring yourself up. And you can take your block and put it just outside of the middle of your mat. And then go ahead and roll down onto your back. Bend those knees, soles of the feet on the mat. Chin parallel with shoulders. And put your right hand or whatever hand on your block. Mine's on the right side. I want you to press into your feet just enough to lift the hips and let that block come right under the sacrum, that little triangle part at the base of your spine. And then slowly release back down onto the block, letting those hips feel just a gentle opening. If it's got your back where you're uncomfortable, I invite you just to press into the back of your head, lift the upper back off the mat, and then lower back down, just letting everything soften, feeling supported. Put the hands wherever they're comfortable. And breathe. Notice where the breath travels. Let's give it 4 more breaths. Take an inhale. Press into the feet just enough to lift the hips so that you can move the block out of the way. You can bring those knees up towards the belly, hands come down to kneecaps. And there's that little gentle rock side to side. And then once that feels complete, I invite you to move through any postures that your body is asking you for before we rest. And when that feels complete, I invite you just to find a moment of stillness, allowing that stillness to begin with another cleansing breath in through the nose, sighing it out through the mouth. And as you're ready, I invite you to bring just a little awareness back into this space. And start with some really small movements with your fingers and your toes. Circle the wrists and the ankles. Reach your arms up over your head, point your toes, reach your fingertips. Give yourself that full body stretch. And then allow yourself just another moment to roll onto your favorite side, bringing your knees up close to your belly, completely supported by the mat beneath you. And as you're ready, I'll meet you back in a comfortable seat. We'll meet there together with our hands at our hearts in prayer, chin bowed down towards chest. There's a great quote that I read several years ago by Danielle Laporte. It simply said, "Change the dance." And she went on later to write an article about that, a blog post, and she was saying that the definition of insanity is to do the same thing over and over again and to expect a different result. So as we've moved through different ways that we can really fill that container that is us, what I was trying to do was to get you to change the pattern of how you stand and sit in your body. Because there's so much there to explore and to find. But if we stay how we are, then we're only going to continue to have the same results and outcomes. So I attempted to change the dance with you a little bit today. I invite you over the next few days to notice your posture and notice how you are showing up, seated and standing, can have a profound effect on how you're showing up for yourself and for others. So here's to changing the dance. May you know gratitude. May you know my gratitude. May you know kindness. May you know my kindness. Gratitude for practicing with me today. Namaste.